Simon from simonwoods.com. I've got 3 Alsace Pinot Gris today, and let's give them a whirl. So, first one I have got is Carved de Turckheim. I think these are all 2008 vintage. Just labelled Pinot Gris, not any particular. It says Selection on the back label. It's the sort of company that you'll see providing quite a few wines for big supermarkets and larger retailers in the UK. This one's from Majestic. But they can make some terrific wines. Alsace is really blessed in terms of the co-ops that it has in the region, because some co-ops in parts of France can be a bit sleepy, and but some of the co-ops in Alsace are really quite dynamic, and Turckheim is one of the best. Well, stick my nose in. I'm getting a nice pear, peach, pineapple, but it feels like there's a zestiness behind it. It feels like sometimes Pinot Gris, especially in other countries that are looking to emulate the Alsace style of that slightly richer edge than northeastern Italian Pinot Grigio, they can go over the top and do too much to the wine, get it almost like an old-fashioned Chardonnay with lots of buttery alcohol and clumsy edges. This feels like it's got richness but freshness too. Tasty, such a very ripe orange, ever so slight crystallised orange too. Juicy, rich but fresh. That's really nice start. Albert Boxler, also 2008. Now, difference here. This feels like there's 2 things I noticed. First of all, it feels like it's going to be a bigger, weightier wine. Also, I'm getting more of the character of the soil coming through. Less of that zest and zip, and more of like an earthy, almost clay-like undercurrent. Not quite sure what the soil is here. Does it say anything about... no, not too much on the back label. But yes, it feels like it's going to be a more profound wine. Maybe this is sort of like the lunchtime wine, and this is the evening with your, maybe even a touch of foie gras. Wow, quite delicious that. It does have the zip and the freshness. It's got a bit more sweetness than the Turckheim does, but it's really nicely balanced. It's got this what I call sweet and sour tension. So yes, there is the rich, and it's going into that orange, really ripe orange, and apricots, and maybe on the peach side as well. But then this undercurrent of citrus acidity and this earthy clay-like minerality. Very good. I like that a lot. Oh, let's see if the final one can emulate that. So this is Erhardt's Domaine Saint-Remy Pinot Gris, again 2008. One thing that is a problem in Alsace, and I've seen that there have been some stories in various magazines recently, you never quite know from a bottle of Alsace what to expect in terms of, is it going to be a dry wine or is it going to be an off-dry wine? And they're proposing having some sort of stickers on the label so you can tell, but at the moment it's almost like you have to ask the person who's selling it, or have to find out what I thought of it. So not sure whether this is going to be off-dry, dry. Just looking at the colour of it, it looks like quite a deep golden colour, which makes me think it's going to be on that richer side. But then you smell it, and it smells lively and fresh. Yes, I think I got that wrong. I would say that this was it's going to be slightly drier than the Boxler was. Let's say, hey, what can you tell from the colour of a wine? But then I smell it and I change my mind. It's strange. It doesn't feel like it's going to be as oily and almost syrupy in the way that the Boxler was. It feels like it's going to have a more tense mineral character, and I don't know whether there's a different soil here, but it feels like a slightly slatier edge, something a bit sharper. And I'm expecting something that's going to be rich but precise and clean with it. Let's give it see if I'm proved correct. Fascinating contrast between those two. What's great about this one is it has got that life, it's got that minerally intensity. Yes, it's got rich fruit, but the thing that's carrying it through, you're left with this clean, cleansed, refreshed mouth. And I certainly wouldn't have that with the foie gras. I think I'd have to have that with something like some chicken with girolles, because it's got the weight and body to stand up to those things, but it's got this dry, precise, pure finish. Maybe, yes, it's a fascinating contrast. I would probably, if you had to put it in terms of another field, this is this is Paul Scholes and this is Ryan Giggs. They've both got pedigree, and whereas the Paul Scholes is slightly more stolid and but doesn't really put too much feet wrong apart from when he's tackling. And this is Ryan Giggs running down the wing and doing the graceful bits. Grace and power, but both really good reflections of Alsace. And the Turkheim wasn't bad either, but these two are a step above. Hey, see you soon.